welcome to a video nobody asked for. I'm going to try to grow beans in Cocoa Pebbles. It's my favorite cereal. Okay, so I've prepared 4 different cups for this experiment. On the far right here is just traditional potting soil. That's going to be our control. We know that the beans should be able to grow just fine in the potting soil. This cup here is a 50-50 mix of traditional potting soil and Cocoa Pebbles. These 2 cups are only Cocoa Pebbles, but the difference is, one, we will use only water, and this last one, we're actually going to use milk, even though it'll probably end up smelling really bad. For this experiment, I will be using normal garden beans. It's a bush bean. I'm using these because, one, they grow very quickly, should only take about a week or 2 to germinate, and that way we can see the results of this experiment quite quickly. These are the same type of beans you may have used when you were in kindergarten. So let's go ahead and plant our beans. Alright, now that our beans are planted, let's give them a little bit of water. And of course, our milk.
He needs some milk!
So I'm going to put 3 of them on the windowsill here, but the one with the milk, I'm going to carry out that experiment outside because I really don't want the smell of spoiled milk to fill up my kitchen. Alright, so now we just gotta wait.
2 hours later.
So it's only been a couple hours, and obviously we're not expecting to see anything sprouting just yet. Just want to take a look at the surface of our various soils. One thing I am noticing is that the levels have dropped a little bit. It's kind of compressed, compacted compared to how it was, which makes sense. The pebbles got a little bit squishy. Okay, and this is our outdoor experiment, the cup with the milk. And as you can see, a lot of the milk has been absorbed into the Cocoa Pebbles, which is to be expected. Cereal does tend to get soggy, but that's actually why I think this experiment might have a chance of working, because the pebbles will actually retain the moisture. I'm not sure about this milk though. It's important to keep the soil moist. He needs more milk. Okay, today's day 6, and we have our first bean sprout emerging. This is from just our soil. Now, it appears we are growing something in our other samples here. You can see there's a little bit of a fuzziness in there. We're growing some sort of fungus or mold. And then this one, which is just the Cocoa Pebbles, has also began growing a little bit of fuzz down there. But all hope is not lost. We shall continue the experiment. So here's a look at our outdoor experiment as of day 8. And as you can see, a colony of pincher bugs or earwigs have taken roost. You can still see the bean, but it does not appear to be growing. I guess it's not really a surprise, is it? What is a surprise is that there is absolutely no mold or fungus growing. This has only had Cocoa Pebbles and milk in it, and it has been outside in the sun all day long. Well, it's been outside in the sun for over a week. Now this is day 8 for our indoor experiments, and as you can see in the normal soil, our bean is growing fine, as to be expected. In here, there's definitely some fuzziness, some green mold. This one's really fuzzy now. No growth, no signs of growth from the beans. Not giving up hope yet. Okay, so apparently you can't grow beans in Cocoa Pebbles, and this is pretty definitive proof. This one on the left here was the one with the milk, and this is the one where I used water. As you can see, they're actually quite dried up on the top now, but that's mostly because I realized about 3 days ago that nothing was going to grow out of them, so I stopped watering them. However, there's one more thing we're going to try to do here. Okay, so in order to get definitive proof that you can't grow in Cocoa Pebbles, or that it is highly unlikely that anything will grow from Cocoa Pebbles, I wanted to kind of dissect these and see if there was any sprouting attempt from the beans, because perhaps that could give us some hope on whether or not we should try. So I'm going to remove this top dried section. This is the one that was watered. Let's see if I can get a closer view of this here. Focus on one at a time. So this is the one that was watered. We're going to start digging around here, see what we find. I think I found the bean. It looks like the bean right there. Let's see if there's any rooting at all. Some goopy stuff. Let's pry him out. I don't really want to touch this, but I'm going to try to brace it. See what happened. Oh, so yeah, he's got like some white fungusy mold growing on him, which you might be able to tell that he is actually quite swollen compared to when I put him in there. So he did absorb a lot of liquid. I don't know why I'm referring to the bean as a he. The bean did absorb a lot of the water that I used, but in the end was not able to germinate for, reasons being planted in Cocoa Pebbles, I think. Let's move this one away and take a look at the milk, see if there was any different story there. There's a lot of like pincher bugs in this. Most of them are dead, which kind of also makes me wonder what the heck. Okay, same thing here. Whoop. Get the bean out. So interesting. Let's compare the beans. So this is the bean from the milk here. Looks kind of shriveled actually. And this is the bean from the water. I'm not going to clean him off too much here. A little larger. You can see he's a little more... I keep calling him he. This bean is a little more engorged with fluid, and this one is more shriveled and smaller. And yeah, that's I don't really see any growth from either of them, but we're gonna call this yes, highly improbable that you could grow from Cocoa Pebbles. And if you're wondering where the other sample went that was 50% soil and 50% Cocoa Pebbles, well, during sometime in the last like 2 days or so, some animal must have discovered it, knocked it over, and devoured a majority of it. So I don't know why these other two were left untouched, but the one that was 50% soil and 50% Cocoa Pebbles was, well, eaten. So there you have it. That's I guess that's the end of this experiment. And of course, after 12 total days, the one in the soil is growing just fine, as to be expected, and I'm probably going to plant him somewhere.